Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we are going to have a very quick look at some of the topics and technologies that were trending in 2020 regarding data science and machine learning. So this entire presentation is basically a summary of this newsletter article or blog post that talks about a bunch of different links and topics that had good traction during 2020. This is not necessarily to say that these were the only topics that was good in data science and machine learning. This is just to say that these are the ones that had good impact, whether it is regarding the industry implementation or whether it is traction among researchers. So these are the topics that had good traction during 2020 in data science and machine learning. So first, when we take about NLP, so I think no one would argue for the matter of fact that NLP had the most advancement of all data science and machine learning topic. If you actually see computer vision or any other topic, like let's say like reinforcement learning or anything, NLP actually had a very good advancement, and those advancements were not only on paper or on paper, also like published paper, but lot of industry started embracing NLP, and you can attribute it to a few open source companies that does a great job in this regard. So one thing is, if you know that it has been also validated by the market. So Rasa, the conversational API AI bot company, raised its fund in June 2020, just before the start of the previous new year. Hugging Face, the NLP company, again open source company, raised their fund. And also Spacey does a very great job in making it available easy, the models and techniques availability easy for a lot of people. So these kind of companies had really made it easier for anyone to embrace NLP and then start using NLP in their production. It's not just seeing NLP on a PowerPoint slide, but they actually made it possible that you can use state of the art models and the recent developments in your actual work, whether it is as a hobby on Kaggle or Google Colab, or whether it is actually on your day-to-day work. So kudos to those company, and thanks to them for also driving open source development, because it's not very easy for you to build a high potent team with just open source. So thanks to the investors who gave them fund. So there are a couple of links that I'm not going to open it currently, but you can definitely check it out. So the first thing is it talks about the language agnostic BERT model. So language agnostic models are becoming a thing. So where you build one model and that could be used across languages. So a lot of models have been in this area where you need a very little effort to use that model for your own language. For example, if you take ULM Fit, that's from Fast AI family, a lot of Indian language models have come from, if you look at Indic NLP, they've used ULM Fit and then they've tweaked it so that ULM Fit, the pre-trained ULM Fit model could be used on Indian languages. So you should definitely check it out. And not to forget to mention the amazing Transformers library of Spacey. So if you look at the Transformers library of Spacey, my apologies, Transformers library from Hugging Face, it has got almost every single model that recently came. Anything related to BERT, Distill BERT, Robert, Electra, whatever model that you point out in NLP, and all the data sets, and very recently Hugging Face actually had a sprint to add data sets that are not familiar to Hugging Face library, and that got really good traction, and you should definitely check it out. And Transformers is definitely the library if you want to use state of the art model in bunch of like a very few lines of code. And then the next thing is you should also look at the amazing work that the Rasa team has put together. Rachel Tartman doesn't need any introduction. She was previously with Kaggle, and almost every aspiring data scientist used to know her because of her teaching skills. But she's with Rasa now, and she does a series called Rasa NLP for developers. And Vincent, who goes by the name Fishnet, I think 88 on Twitter, also is very familiar face for making strong statements about the machine learning and AI, the current ecosystem. So Vincent has a very nice whiteboard series on Rasa YouTube channel, which also you should definitely check out. If we talk about the next domain, which is our web application. So web application is actually a thing, right? So there is a separate domain called web development, and there are a lot of tools and technologies. Even there are a lot of huge advancements. A lot of new frameworks are there for CSS. They have got Tailwind CSS, which is highly popular, and for there's a JavaScript framework, and there are no code tools. There are a lot of advancement in that. The catch is, technically speaking, a lot of data scientists may not know actually to build a production level web application, because that's a skill that we don't necessarily have, right? So like we are probably trained on finding insights from data, training a model, improving accuracy, we understand the nuances of data, all those things, but maybe web development is not our thing. So that's where this whole new world of web development tools have come in, which is to say that Streamlit is again another company that has open source development, and also recently they have announced Streamlit sharing. We have got a video about it where you can upload your Streamlit application on GitHub, and then just do a one-click deployment on Streamlit sharing for free completely, if it is a public repository on GitHub. Plotly Jupyter Dash is Plotly's attempt to use their Dash, which is web development framework, for Jupyter Notebook. So if you've got a Jupyter Notebook, you can quickly turn it into a web application, which is again everyone wants to do, right? So you don't want to always keep a Jupyter Notebook and use it. So sometime you want to give something to your stakeholders so that they can play with this. H2O Wave is a very recent entrant to it. I've got a bunch of videos on H2O Wave, which I'll link in the description, which you can check it out. So H2O Wave is unlike Streamlit. H2O Wave has taken a slightly different approach. Their SDK is slightly different. You should definitely check it out. They really look for streaming data, especially from what they're showing. So you can quickly build dashboards for streaming data, and it has a very simple API. The only thing I have found is that it has a very comprehensive API. So maybe if you want to build something quick, I would still go with Streamlit, which is still my go-to web development tool in Python, like Shiny. So H2O Wave is definitely there, and you should definitely check it out. And then the next one is GPT-3. I think GPT-3 doesn't need any introduction even for non-technical people, because GPT-3 has been in the news for like God knows how long. It's always been in the news. So what is GPT-3? GPT-3 is a language model that was built by a company called OpenAI. And what is OpenAI? OpenAI is a company that was started by a bunch of people, including Elon Musk, because they are fearing that AI development could be dangerous to human being in the future, like the Terminator movies kind of thing. So they created this company called OpenAI, which is not so open anymore, because they've got a language model that's so huge, and it is not easy or possible for anyone to replicate and create that language model. And they've recently licensed that language model API to Microsoft. So I don't understand which part of this is entirely open, but yes, GPT-3 has been a huge talk in the industry. A lot of journalists covered that. So you can request your GPT-3 OpenAI API. We recently had a video of how you can build your web application if you have a GPT-3 API. So you should definitely check it out. This Wired article does a very good job of summarizing what GPT-3 does. So GPT-3 is definitely good, but if you do not have the ability to use GPT-3, I've also got a video where we use AI text gen using GPT-2 language model, and then you can generate your text. You should definitely check it out. Not everyone has got the luxury to use GPT-3, so that's a good addition. The next thing is AutoML. So AutoML has been the place that a data scientists are not very comfortable with usually, but as the saying goes, 20% of machine learning is model development, and 80% of machine learning is everything else, like data cleaning, feature engineering. So if you are a data scientist who wants to be good at your job, I think AutoML is a really good companion, just like how you have got other automated system in your life, right? things that can automatically switch on or automatically switch off. So all those things complement to our productivity. The same way I believe AutoML can complement to our productivity, especially productivity of data scientists who has a lot to do, and this is a space that has really got good development, and AutoML techniques have got really good accuracies that so if you look at this article, AutoML for time series forecasting by Google, so this article would say that and the AutoML solution has been better than majority of Kaggler's for a competition. So that has been true in a lot of hackathons. We see that people started using AutoML to gain advantage in the leaderboard, at least to get a baseline and go to the top. So you should definitely check out this article. And then H2 AutoML is another open source framework for you to build AutoML solutions. AutoGluon is from Amazon. Amazon released it recently. Again, to promote automated machine learning. AutoScaLearn is an open source initiative where it runs a lot of different scikit-learn algorithms and then finally gives you the best model. And also rumors say, not necessarily rumors, probably like confirmed by Hugging Face event, that Hugging Face is working on an auto NLP library, which means you'll be able to do like classification task or annotation or like whatever you would like to do. I think probably you would be able to do without you manually specifying the data set. Also, another thing if I wanted to highlight is that Hugging Face had released some time back a zero-shot classification model. I'll link that video that we have made about it. So this zero-shot classification model doesn't require you to actually have any model in place. You can use their pre-trained model and just start right away with text classification without having any base trained or annotated data, and that is really awesome. And then the next thing finally in our list, let me just quickly go through the list if I've got anything. It's AutoML. So again with we have crossed AutoML. The next thing is ML Ops. So if you look at ML Ops, the problem for a lot of data scientists or a lot of companies is that often the model or whatever data science project that you would do, it would either end up on a Jupyter notebook or a PowerPoint presentation. And this is a huge attempt by our domain industry to change that image and perspective or fact. So all these ML Ops is nothing but machine learning plus DevOps. So DevOps is the concept where software developers can push their update to this is a very vague explanation of DevOps. Software developers are the people who develop the code. So there used to be a separate operations team would put the model in production. So this DevOps is like a hybrid of that, where developers can build a pipeline, and like DevOps can build a pipeline in such a way that developers can push something to the pipeline, and the pipeline takes care of everything like testing, like unit testing, and all those things, to make sure that things are not breaking up before moving into production, and the pipeline itself can move it to production. So this is a nice concept, and then machine learning has been borrowing that concept from software development, and that's been doing quite good. MLflow is a really good application for you to take care of the settings, like version control, model parameters, and a lot of other such things. Kubeflow is another open source project in the same domain. And GitHub Actions is really a very interesting project. Even I'm very keen on exploring that. GitHub Action is really being used by a lot of people these days as a replacement for a lot of other solutions that they were using, like Travis CA, Circle CA. So people are building models with GitHub Actions. People are sending scheduling cron jobs with GitHub Actions. People are using GitHub Actions to test their packages, Python or R packages, before they release it to the crowd. This is definitely an interesting article by one of the very popular GitHub engineers, Hamid, I think. So you should definitely check it out, how GitHub Actions can be used for ML Ops and data science, and also ML Ops is there with AWS. So these are the main things that I wanted to quickly take you through from this article. While you might think that you could have read this article yourself, I hope this video added a little bit more context about going through this article. So I think that way it is helpful, not just a waste of time for you. You're free to set this video in 2x or 1.5x so that you can save time. While these are the main topics that I wanted to highlight from this article, there are a few things that is also mentioned in this article. Is fast AI library, not just the library but the entire community definitely deserves a huge mention in terms of AI democratization, and then people from other domain like non-technical domains starting to use machine learning and artificial intelligence techniques. It's an amazing library, amazing community. Once again, huge credit to Jeremy Howard and Rachel Thomas for for this amazing community for what it is now, and also all the contributors who keeps on making fast AI an amazing community. Interpretable machine learning has gained a very good amount of traction. This is a link to the book, a free open source, not open source, free book for you to learn about interpretable machine learning by Christoph Molnar. You should definitely check it out. This is becoming a main thing. Building black box model is not going to just solve everything, but having interpretation to understand what is behind that will really help. There are a lot of GAN project, lot of different variants of GANs for image creation. First order motion was quite trending on social media a lot of times. You can click this link, and then there's a collab notebook also where you can try to create your first order motion, where you have got a video and you've got an image. Now you overlay that image, you use that video to animate that image. So this is quite popular. On-device machine learning is definitely another very interesting area that I'm also very interested. TensorFlow.js had a lot of interesting topics in the projects. Core ML, Apple has been pushing. We have got TensorFlow for Swift now. So a lot of interesting things are coming up with on-device or edge computing machine learning. So this has been definitely a great year, or the past year I would say. It's been great for machine learning and data science, and it's definitely we start seeing the industry becoming more and more matured in terms of maturity, and then less and less noise and BS. There are still a lot of BS which we cannot deny at all, but still the maturity in the industry is really good. A lot of companies have started taking data science team seriously. They're going lean. They're like not hiring a lot of data science scientists, keeping a small team, expecting more skills like ML ops, making them deploy the models using cloud solutions like Databricks, so that they can have language agnostic